let us not lull ourselves to a sense of security because of the recent revelations by the American intelligence community. And they said, Iran did have a program for nuclear weapons, but no longer. This can be interpreted in different ways, but I think it's prudent to interpret it not as lessening necessarily the danger of an attack on Iran, but precisely because these people who have come out, and including the military leaders who have spoken against it, not on my watch, it's precisely because they think there is such a danger that they want to dissociate themselves and not to take the blame. In the lesson from the Iraq adventure has been that a lot of the shit, was sort of thrown on the intelligence people. They were blamed for providing the false intelligence. Of course, this was wrong, and they don't want a repeat of this. So precisely because they may feel that there is such a danger, that they have come out to preempt the accusation that they were responsible for this decision. Crude Marxists often make the assumption that the ruling class acts in accordance with its material interests. Wrong. The ruling class acts in what it perceives to be its material interests. And precisely because of this, it can sometimes act irrationally because it misperceives its actual interest. So it does things that actually harms it because it doesn't actually know clearly what its own interests are. And that leads to a lot of grief for itself. They will find, or they will try to find other excuses, or even the same excuses. You see, Bush repeated this story about the danger of nuclear weapons despite the intelligence revelations. And this is because Iran, even the present regime of Iran, is an obstacle at the moment for US imperialism. We shouldn't underestimate this. It is an obstacle. It is an obstacle at the moment for US hegemony in the Middle East, in alliance with its local important junior partner, the Israeli state. And this brings me to the second point. It is wrong, misleading, and simplistic to take the view that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It has led to very grave and calamitous errors. If you look at the Iraq episode, I mean, it works both ways. Some of the people who were staunchest supporters of this imperialist invasion were leftists, or so-called leftists, or former leftists, who rightly exposed the Saddam regime as an enemy of the Iraqi people, of the Iraqi working class. One of the worst apologists for the invasion was Kenan Makia, a former Trotskyist, who wrote a very important book, The Republic of Fear, when Iraq was still an ally of the United States, exposing the horrendous atrocities of that regime. But later, because of this, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, he actually supported and cheered the American invasion and became a close ally of Chalabi. Of course, it works also the other way. Simplistic arguments say, well, since the United States is the main danger, therefore we should tone down our critique, our criticism, our opposition to the Iranian regime. Well, either of these positions is a betrayal of the Iranian people, of the Iranian working class, and of the Iranian leftists, who quite rightly see both the Iranian regime and American imperialism as their enemy. So the enemy of my enemy is not necessarily my friend. And my third point is that we should not be merely reactive but proactive. On the nuclear issue is a very real one. The danger of nuclear weapons in the Middle East is very real, and although the Bush administration and its allies have raised it for their own nefarious reasons, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't take it up in our own way. And let me just mention that nuclear weapons were introduced into the Middle East by imperialism. In fact, Israel became a nuclear power as a prize for its services to imperialism, literally. The origin of this was, and as has been quite recently revealed, in that case, services to French imperialism. And that goes back to the Suez adventure of 1956. Israel got the initial help to develop nuclear weapons from France as a prize for its role in the launching the Suez War and allowing it, in fact, a scenario very similar to the one that Mike depicted in connection with the possible way that the attack on Iran can start. Israel starts, and then the imperialist powers intervene in order to sort of work things out. And in fact, this plot was hatched in a villa in Sèvres near Paris. We know exactly the details. They've all come out now. People have written their memoirs. And Peres and Dayan actually got the French delegation to give them this assistance as a prize. Later on, when Israel became more closely associated with American imperialism, the American administration agreed to allow Israel to continue to have nuclear weapons, not to force it to give these up. And the documents about this have very recently been released. Letters by Kissinger to Nixon dating from 1969, in which the deal was that Israel will be allowed to continue with its nuclear weapons, provided it doesn't make it public, provided it doesn't actually declare officially that it is a nuclear power. So the possibility that other states, including Iran in the Middle East, will be drawn into this nuclear race are very real and a very real danger. What should our position be? I think it is right for us to call for making the Middle East a zone, an area free of nuclear weapons as a step towards nuclear disarmament worldwide. This is a positive demand that we should raise vis-à-vis all the states in the Middle East and throughout the world. Thank you very much.